That's going to make this easier then. I am a graduate assistant in the history department at Eastern Washington University. I'll wait for that to find my laptop. And I'm also, thanks. Sweet. I am also an intern, a graduate intern at the Washington State Eastern Region Branch Archives and Digital Archives. And looks like I may have to do a little configuring here. Give me a second. And what I've noticed working the intersection of those two jobs is that I didn't expect this. Okay, let me just talk for a minute while I figure this out. Is that probably the hardest thing about teaching historical writing is teaching students to use primary sources, to rely on primary sources in historical writing. And I also work at this interesting intersection of historical writing where I'm old enough in the profession to have worked through archives, traditional archives, dug through boxes and boxes and boxes of paper resources and spent literally hundreds of hours on a journal article. But I also work as a public historian in the new history where we're using digital sources more and more and more. I know there's a couple from Washington State University. Dr. Peter Bogue recently wrote a book called Redressing America, addressing cross-dressing in America's frontier past using mostly digital sources. And that's revolutionary in historical writing. So hopefully, if I can get my tech working today, and that's always the issue, isn't it? I am going to show you something that's going to change your life, or maybe not change it. I can't sort of figure this out. But,
Frank,
yes ma'am.
can I make a small announcement while you're doing that?
Definitely.
This reminded me that INCOL, which is our, help me out here.
Inland Northwest Council of Libraries.
Inland Northwest Council of Libraries. It's a group of librarians and library staff in the Inland Northwest. We have a tour planned of the digital archives. So we're going there November 13th, and if you'd like to join us, you can. If you're interested in registering, I think it's a Wednesday, so we don't know if you're available then. There's a morning session, and then there's a repeat session in the afternoon, so you'd probably be driving down to Cheney for either the morning or the afternoon. I'll leave a pad up here that says, contact me about visiting the digital archives, and if you sign your name and your email, I'll send you an email.
Or you can contact me if you already know about it and want to register.
Tammy Robinson at Whitworth. And I owe you about 2 minutes because I took 2
No, beauty. No, that's great, great, great. Allow me time to figure this out, and you'll see me. So, the Washington State Digital Archives. So, what this is the first state archives built from the ground up, fully digital. And we've had transferred to us in the last almost 10 years, 9 years, over 150 million records. About 50 million or so are available to the public at absolutely no charge. They are public records, open source. Of course, you have to cite them. Other than that, no fees, no user anything, fully open to the public. There's a bunch of ways to use this, and one of them is just a simple search like this, where you can search by name, search by keyword, and pull up all kinds of interesting sorts of things. And so I'm going to do John, hopefully John, if I can type, Smith. I'm going to pull up everything we have in the digital archives on John Smith. That's going to be quite a lot, as you can imagine. Wi-Fi's a little slow here, so there's quite a lot there, but each one of those categories will open up and show you all of the documents that we have on John Smith. You can see there's birth records, census records, frontier justice records, institution records, land records, some of them historic, some of them more current. So you can pull up all of those resources, in many cases view the original documents, download them for free obviously, and if I had another hour, I could teach another course on digital research tools and show you how to do that, but I don't have that kind of time. So that's the first way you can search for these things and develop a database, because that's what we're doing, especially in the new history, right? It's not about writing hundreds of pages of notes anymore. It's about developing databases. And Caitlin, I'm so glad about infographics. We call them data visualizers in the historical profession. It's about building databases so that you can visualize your data in a dozen different ways and then start writing on it. Now there's another way to do a search, and that's through collections, to record series. And this will show you all of the collections we have at the Digital Archives. And you can go search by county, for instance. Right now we're in audio records. I'll tell you something else about that in a minute. But you can also, for instance, look at death records. We write a lot about death in cemeteries. They're an interesting topic. Everybody gets into it. So, and again, Wi-Fi is a little bit slow here, so I'm going to keep going while it catches up. So you could look at Spokane County death returns, for instance. And while you can't browse this series, meaning just click on a button and see everything we have, what you can do, and I guess we're not going to see this because we're a little slow, you can enter a date range. And so the earliest date is, say, 1882 to 1882, and pull up every death return in Spokane County for that year. And there's 454 of them. I've taught this course a few times. 454 of them. And what we do is we take those results and we have students enter them into a Google Fusion table. How many of you use Google Fusion tables? Yes, good, good. And then from there you can export it to a map. You can go to the birth returns for Spokane County for the same year, for instance, put all of those in a Google Fusion table, mix them together, and now you have interesting data results that you can start writing social history on. We're not concentrating on great men and women anymore. We're concentrating on social history. How does history occur as a result of social interactions? This is a great primary resource for probably everybody in this room. And it's www.digitalarchives.wa.gov. Go and visit it. If there's a tour, go get the tour. You'll get a lot more there. So thanks. I'll end there. Thanks.